Comic book character and arch-nemesis of DC Comics superhero Batman. The Joker is noted for his clown-like appearance and sick humor. The Joker, initially portrayed as a small-time crook, was disfigured and driven insane by an accident with toxic chemicals. He was depicted with chalk-white skin, ruby-red lips permanently fixed in a demonic grin, and bright green hair. He was created in 1940 by illustrator Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger. Their collaborator Jerry Robinson also claimed credit for the character's inspiration. Early stories portrayed him as a homicidal psychopath, but by the mid-1950s, he had been softened into a thief whose crimes were also gags. In the 1960s, the character devolved into outright camp in a farcical Batman television series. During the 1970s, writer Denny O'Neil and artist Neil Adams renewed the Joker's picture, making him by an underhandedly threatening killer. Alan Moore and Brian Boland's 1988 story, The Killing Joke, modified and confused his cause, at last proposing that he may be lying about his past, as well as uncertain of it himself. Stories from this time concentrated on the Joker's craziness and explored his relationship with Batman, recommending that the two were similarly crazy yet diverted their energies in inverse ways. The Joker symbolizes the dark, the chaos, the evil, the wrong. A counter to the Batman, symbolizing everything good and desirable. Though it is a negative character, but still Joker, so famous for his unique attitude and personality. Joker has been listed among the greatest comic book villains and fictional characters ever created. The character's popularity has seen him appear on a variety of merchandise, such as clothing and collectible items, inspire real-world structures, such as theme park attractions, and be referenced in a number of media. Recently, Warner Brothers has released trailer of upcoming movie, Joker, that blown away everyone's mind. All fans are eagerly waiting to watch the movie on theater. This movie, directed by Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, played the Joker role. The trailer gives us a glimpse into how a mild-mannered failed comedian named Arthur Fleck turned into a mass murderer called simply Joker. Joaquin Phoenix's performance in the brief trailer is nothing short of captivating, not least of all for the physical transformation the star underwent to become Joker. The movie really does seem to be what it was promised to be, a character study, an exploration of how a man can become a killer. We also get glimpses of ZazieBeetz as Sophie Damon, a jaded single mother, who has the misfortune of also being Arthur's neighbor and love interest. How things turn out for her remains to be seen, but we're doubtful it'll be good. Since the Joker character created from then till now, many actors played this iconic role. Let's see which actors took Joker character in different level by portrayed it in big screen.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker? For my whole life, the clown.
Cesar Romero. Cesar Romero was a skilled actor and dancer who had a full career before his role as Joker in the original 1966 series, with Adam West as Batman. In the A&E documentary series, West said that Romero brought an enormous amount of energy to the role. While the Caped Crusader made the jump to the big screen with serials during the 1940s, then the Joker didn't follow from the printed asylum until he had already appeared on TV. Batman, the movie, may have been originally conceived by William Dozier as a way to pique interest in a coming TV series, but due to financial reluctance at 20th Century Fox to pay for the whole production, Bat fans weren't able to get their Bat fix at Bat theaters until after the first Bat season was complete in 1966. As the Joker was popular character actor and performer Cesar Romero, who had already worn the makeup in several episodes of the show's first season. Coming from the golden age of Hollywood, Romero was the son of affluent New York socialites of Cuban heritage. His maternal grandfather was the Cuban patriot José Martí. Jack Nicholson, the most perfect casting imaginable to the boomer generation. This side of Harrison Ford as President James Badass. Jack Nicholson was famously tapped for the Joker in Tim Burton's dark reimagining of the Batman mythos. For its time, Batman was an ambitious blockbuster spectacle, and even today has a unique individual identity stamped on by its director, making it still an aberration in its then nascent genre. Presumably, casting everyone's favorite choice for the green-haired jester went a long way to giving Burton some latitude. There were many names who circled the role of the Joker in the run-up to Nicholson's casting, and including Brad Dourif, purportedly Burton's preferred choice. Tim Curry, David Bowie, Willem Dafoe, and most famously Robin Williams also were in the list. In fact, Williams claimed WB used him as a bargaining chip to get Nicholson's price down, which must have been substantial, since Jack was paid $6 million for playing the Joker. Still, Batman co-creator Bob Kane wanted Nicholson, as did the original producer on the project, Michael Uslan, who grabbed up the movie rights for Batman back in 1979. So this was probably meant to be. Makeup artist Nick Dudman even had an imperative to cook up multiple designs for the Joker's maniacal grin, with the goal of getting one that least disguised Nicholson's recognizable mug. Nicholson told MTV he took the role partly because of his belief in Burton's vision of Batman. He had the right take on it. That's why he did the movie. He acted on that movie based on a single conversation with him. Mark Hamill. Nevertheless, the quintessence of what is considered the comic book Joker remains in Mark Hamill's vocal and seemingly never-ending performance as Mr. J. At this point, Hamill has been playing the Joker almost as long as his other iconic character, a certain farm boy from Tatooine. First appearing as the Joker in Warner Bros. Animation's masterful Batman, the animated series, which ran originally from 1992 to 1995 and then was revived in 1997 to 1999. Hamill has voiced the Joker in several straight-to-video animated films, the much more mature and violent Arkham video games, and most recently in 2016's animated adaptation of The Killing Joke. His version of the Joker first appeared in the Emmy Award-winning Batman the Animated Series. BTAS was the first of many shows in the DC animated universe, which all shared the same canon and voice actors. Hamill would go on to appear in adaptations of Superman, The Justice League, and Static Shock as well. He appeared in animated films and video games as well. Jeff Bennett, Batman, the Brave and the Bold, was very different from the multiple other adaptations that make up the DC animated universe. The characters were modeled after their earlier 60s era designs. This made the show campier and less serious than most of the other Batman cartoons. Steve Blum. Steve Blum has appeared in dozens of video games and cartoons since his start in voice acting in 1992. He's voiced iconic characters like Lex Luthor, Wolverine, Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's Joker is one of the most celebrated and memorable versions of the character. Ledger is the only actor to receive an Academy Award for his portrayal of the Joker, which was awarded shortly after his death at the age of 28. However, no matter how much stock you put in comic book fidelity, but still there is little debate that Heath Ledger's take on the Joker, in 2008's The Dark Knight movie, as much as any other legendary turn of villainy in cinema, Ledger's take on the clown is immortal and still lingers in the culture to this day. As the main villain of the second and ultimately most beloved part of Christopher Nolan's trilogy, the Joker was long expected to make his return to the big screen, before Ledger was even cast, a part that saw actors as varied as Robin Williams and Adrian Brody openly campaigning for it. Nolan apparently always had Ledger in mind, eager to work with the young and gifted actor. He would even courted Ledger in 2003, in a failed attempt to get him to play Batman in Batman Begins. Tragically, Ledger did not live to see the finished film. On January 22, 2008, he died of accidental intoxication from prescription drugs. The actor, suffering from insomnia, sadly mixed too many sleeping pills. A father and still only 28, he did not live to see the Oscar he won for his performance. It was very pathetic.
And the Oscar goes to Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight.
Accepting the Oscar on behalf of Heath Ledger are his father, Kim Ledger, his mother, Sally Bell, and his sister, Kate Ledger.
Jared Leto. The most recent big-screen Joker is one that is as much a departure from Ledger as Ledger was from Nicholson. Every bit resistant to the classic iconography of the Crown Prince of Crime as Nolan's. Perhaps even more so despite having bleached skin. Director David Ayer and Jared Leto have created a virile Joker, who is excessively fabulous and obsessed with embracing stereotypes. Leto threw himself into the iconic role so much that he started pulling odd hijinks on his co-stars. His portrayal received a lot of criticism from fans and critics alike. Leto also didn't sound happy with the overall outcome of his character on screen. Leto told to IGN that a lot of the Joker was cut from the final film. Joaquin Phoenix. For the first time, Joker origin movie is going to release in big screen. Though it is obviously far too early to evaluate Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. But already it is fair to say Phoenix is capturing the public's imagination. As the only Joker to get a whole movie to himself, no Batman or Suicide Squads required. Joaquin Phoenix is starring in what appears to be more of a deconstructionist piece set in the 1980s despite his 2019 release date. Returning to the amateurish appearance of self-applied makeup used by Ledger, there is still something even more insidious in Phoenix's countenance. From what little we've seen, it is an open question whether serial killer John Wayne Gacy is an influence. As for Phoenix himself, the fact that he is playing the Joker is a bit of a surprise. Marvel Studios apparently courted Phoenix hard for the role of Doctor Strange back in 2015. But the actor walked away, apparently wary of a multi-film contract. He has since given vaguely diplomatic comments about Marvel. Joaquin Phoenix thinks they keep the fucking industry going in some way, but he remains a bit removed from the superhero and blockbuster aesthetic. Already Joker movie made its world premiere at Venice International Film Festival this weekend and people are giving positive review. The movie is already pulling in early Oscar buzz, with Deadline calling it a bravura piece of filmmaking that speaks to the world we are actually living in today, in ways that few movies do. Hollywood Reporter praised Phoenix's acting and claimed that all movie lovers must watch factor of Phoenix's riveting performance. Final thought. The reactions from audience members on Twitter were also gushing. The Todd Phillips-directed film is set to hit theaters October 4th, with Robert De Niro, ZazieBeetz, and Brian Tyree Henry rounding out the cast alongside Phoenix. Every comic lover along with movie lover is hoping something different from this movie. Let's hope Joaquin Phoenix's Joker doesn't disappoint us. Just be sure to subscribe our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.